Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United Kingdom, and you can find me as Flutter by Heidi. And today I'm going to show you the lovely Queen Anne's lace card, and this is using a lovely stamp set which you can currently get if you join Stampin' Up! It's one of two stamp sets you get for free, and this one is a really useful one. Not only do you get the two stamp sets, you also get enough supplies to make 16 cards. So if you want to start creating cards with friends and you want to start showing people what to do, then this is absolutely perfect. And if you want to join just just to get the discount, then that's great, because you've got enough supplies to make 16 cards to get you on your way. So this one, Queen Anne's lace, beautiful detailed flowers here, and then an infill stamp and some super sentiments, useful for all occasions. So you've got a friend, you've got a support, I know you have the strength to get through this, celebrating the wonderful things about you, best wishes, thanks, some really great useful ones. And this is the card I thought we would make. So this is one where even if you're starting out, if you've got a trimmer, you can create a card like this. And all I've done is I've used the stem here and the infill and one of the simple stamps with a little bit of matting and layering to create a really pretty card. So this one is using Rococo Rose. So I thought we'd go a little bit yellow and sunshiny, because I've been doing a bit of a sunshiny theme recently. So let's do one in crushed curry. So I'll pop the stamp set to one side. One thing that would be really useful for you to get if you haven't got one already is a stamping pierce mat. This helps you get a fabulous impression when you're stamping with photopolymer stamps. Sometimes, you know, if you're stamping onto a hard surface, what you're actually doing is squashing the stamp, whereas by putting it onto a piece of a stamping pierce mat, then actually it gives it that cushioning and you just get a lovely crisp image without deforming the stamp at all. I'm just popping a little bit of scrap paper underneath, a bit of spare grid paper, because I'm going to be stamping off on the bottom here. I've got my crushed curry and I've got just jade actually for a change. And that's the stamp, the ink colour that I'm going to use for the detailed image. So ink up your stamp, tap, 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 and then come in over your piece of card. And I'm starting quite high on the left-hand side here. And then I'm going to come in a little bit lower. You can see I'm just kind of nesting those images. And then again, lower still on the bottom here. But that then creates a lovely space up there for your sentiment. And this piece of card, I should have said, Whisper White, it's 13.7 by 9.7, because I'm going to mat it onto a piece of card that is 14 by 10. And that just gives a really narrow little border on that. Now we can ink up our... if I can get my teeth in straight, not that I take my teeth out, but you know what I mean. So the next part is to actually use the photopolymer stamp set to add the colour here. And what I actually did was I stamped off. So if you're new to stamping, this might be an expression you haven't heard before. What it means is stamping the ink onto, stamping your stamp onto a piece of paper first before you do it, and it gives you a lighter shade of ink, which just means that you've got a really, you know, you've got in effect from every ink pad you've got two colours at least. So crushed curry works obviously best with a strong colour. So as you say, if I did it in that colour, it's quite a strong colour. So I'm going to stamp it once and then line that up over the top, and you can see with photopolymer you can just hover before you pop it down, and you can see that gives a lovely soft impression. Just hover again, and this is, you don't have to be too precise with this, it is designed to kind of give a cloudy kind of effect as well. So I'm going to keep my ink pad open, and I'm coming in with a different sentiment, celebrating all the wonderful things about you. So I'm just going to stamp that in my top corner, hopefully reasonably straight. Now if I'd stamped that and it wasn't very straight, what you could do is use a punch to punch it out and pop it on the top there. And there are quite a few of our punches that would work with that as well. And then you could add some layering to it. So that's our stamping done. I'm going to pop that to one side to just dry slightly. because what I'm then going to do is show you how not to waste your card. So I showed you that we've got a really narrow border, so I've already cut it to the right size, but obviously this middle piece is really covered up by all of our, pretty much all of our card. So all I'm going to do is line this up at 1.5 centimetres, so about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to cut from 1.5 centimetres from the top down to 1.5 centimetres up from the bottom, and I'm going to repeat that on all 4 sides. So in effect I'm creating a frame. Now it doesn't matter if you go over your cut lines very slightly, you don't have to be precise because it's going to be covered up. And there we have. And likewise, if you haven't quite joined them, you just pop in with your scissors. So there's our, in effect, our frame. That piece of card can then be used for another project to create a layer or some more matting. And all I need to do now is use my stamping, some glue to attach that to the edge. So I'm coming in with this is my stamping seal. Little tip with this, just do a little sort of, if you use the fast fuse, a little tick at either end just to break that, break the edge of the glue off. And then it is a narrow border, and I just pop that on there like so. Then I've created a card base. Now this is 14.5 centimetres by 21, scored at 10.5, and you can either add that flush to the front, or you can pop it up on some dimensionals, which is what I did with mine. And again, dimensionals, you don't have to plaster the back with them. I'm usually frugal with mine, you know, they're absolutely fantastic. A little bit more expensive than some brands, but you know what, I think it really is worth every single penny for these, because they are so easy to use and they adhere so well. So just add those. And one thing I haven't done is actually decorate the inside of my card. So before we go any further, I'm just going to do that. So again, just pop in with my stamps, and again I'm going to be stamping off, and I'll use the same colours that I've used on the outside. With these though, when I'm doing something on the inside of a card, I usually sort of want to make it a little bit more of a sort of watermark effect. So what I'm going to do is, although I'm going to ink up with my Just Jade as I did before, I am going to stamp that off and then just stamp on the inside. There we go, just like that. And then again, just do the same as we did on the front, so stamp once and then put that over the top. There we go. So the inside of our card matches the outside. You can do the same on the envelope, which I usually do, so it just makes it a little bit more personal. And all that's left is for me to attach this to the front. Oh look, I've got some lovely, I might actually use some. Lovely fingerprints on the back there. I get ink everywhere. Well, hopefully nobody will notice. And then just remove your dimensionals. You'll see I've got a line on the back of my dimensionals. I just draw that on when I remember to, and it just shows me which ones I have or haven't taken off. Makes life a little bit easier. Make sure you get your card the right way up and just layer that onto the front. And there we have a pair of lovely Queen Anne's lace cards, beautiful stamp set, quick and easy cards, and you can make those in a real rainbow of colours to have on hand for whenever you need a quick card. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please give me a shout if you'd like to purchase any of these items, or pop along to my blog and you can follow the links to my shop there, heidismith.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Bye now.